Oh, I've got this Big Mike stuff. Is this good stuff, or is this going to be depressing here for me? Big Mike released his book today, and he was the guest on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast. He was the guest. He's usually the co-host. He was the guest. And
I mean, I always find Big Mike so funny, so it's up to you.
You want to see some Big Mike stuff? Should we do that right now?
The topic is depressing, but I feel like it's
okay.
Still
Yeah,
funny.
I think you're right. The topic is very depressing. It's Big Mike with his fifth vital book. Let's bring that up. Pull that up to the top. Let's get me going. You got to hear Big Mike. In fact, this is the day of his big release here. Of course, Big Mike has been working on a book for 6 years. It's funny how most of the book is stuff that happened in 2018. It's funny how that happened. This book was released yesterday on Amazon for Kindle and paperback. Thank you to Harley Gannon for being the first one to come out and say we bought you this book on paperback. You could all stop buying me the book. We have enough copies. We've downloaded the Kindle copy. We have yet to read it, but who cares? Even Big Mike's best friends like Logan haven't read the book. You know, it's funny. Big Mike has got this book. He's been, the reason we started hating this guy to begin with is because every fucking show, we haven't played you these parts, but every Impulsive, it's like a running gag to make fun of Mike for bringing up his drug past. For those of you who don't know, Mike was a oxy pill addict for 10 years, so he claims. Everything Mike talks about is completely, what do they call that? Were you
exaggerated?
Exaggerated, yes, of course. So, Big Mike was a stupid idiot. He comes from some rich parents. He comes from Connecticut. He got involved in the oxy game, the opiate game. He became addicted. Went through the withdrawals. He used to sell drugs, rob his friends. And I'm sitting here going, Big Mike constantly bringing up that past, constantly talking about his drug-addicted past. And nobody really cares. It's like, and I think I have a point here. I hope I have a point. It's a greater point than Big Mike stuff, but this drug-addicted stuff, it's not the drug company's fault, okay? I'm going to go ahead and say it. I've done all the drugs. I've tried all the very addictive substances that are out from the evil drug companies that...
I think what you're trying to say is...
No, I know what I'm trying to say. Check it out. There is no drug problem. There is a you problem. People have said this in many forms over the years. Anyone who gets addicted to drugs, they have a brain problem. It's not the drugs. I've tried the same drugs. I've tried the same opiates as you. I haven't done the heroin needle, okay? Let's not get scared there. Maybe I scared some of you. But I've done all those pills that the hillbillies are all addicted to, that all those kids are addicted to. How come they didn't addict me? I did them for many days. I've also had things from the hospital or from the doctor's office where they prescribe you morphine for many days. I took all the morphine. I was able to just stop it. Yeah, I went through some of the withdrawals, and I didn't retake a pill.
Remember when you used to spray fentanyl up your nose?
Yeah, I didn't even know what this stuff was. Some girl gave me fentanyl nose spray before I even knew what any of this stuff was. And I go, is this dangerous? She goes, oh, no, it's just, fun. And that's, we were so ignorant to drugs like 7, 8, 9 years ago. It seems so common sense now, but people really didn't know about drugs. But I knew. Even when I didn't know, I knew. I took the fentanyl nose spray, and she gave it to us. She said it was harmless. I was taking it every day. It felt amazing. For those of you who have never tried an opiate, what it does is it deletes all pain, especially if you're not in pain. Take an opiate, all of a sudden you have no aches, you have no tiredness, you don't have a sore muscle. We don't even realize how much pain we're in. Like, you could feel fine right now. Your fine is not 100%. You don't even know it, but maybe your leg is aching from standing all day. Maybe your back is aching slightly. Maybe you have a slight headache, but you're so used to this feeling that you don't know that that's pain. When you take an opiate, all that goes away and you feel invincible. You feel like, holy fuck, it's like the most blissful feeling Kind of. So people usually, they get involved with this stuff when they have pain. They go to a hospital, maybe they have surgery, they start taking the opiates, and they get so used to it. And when you stop taking opiates, you go through terrible withdrawals. And here's where the drug company comes into play. This is where they say they're evil. You get addicted to these pills because when you stop them, you have night sweats, you can't sleep, you feel like you're crawling out of your skin, you're antsy, you're irritated. I mean, it's really the most agitated feeling you could get. So I did this fentanyl nose spray that somebody told me was just fine. I would do it and not even realize how good I felt. It didn't even feel like a drug. It just felt like I was good. And then I ran out of this nose spray, and I was doing it like every day for 28 days. And really, I didn't even think it was bad. I mean, I thought it was like...
This was before fentanyl swept the nation.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
We had no idea.
Exactly. So, and then I had terrible withdrawals for like 2 weeks. Literally, like what they describe a heroin withdrawal thing where you're shaking, you're fucking sweating, which I'm doing right now. You can't get out of bed. You're having restless leg syndrome. You can't sleep. I mean, really the most annoying thing in the world. And what these people do is when they start experiencing these withdrawals, they pop another pill and then boom, they're back. And that's how they get addicted to heroin and opiates, because they are too much of a pussy to deal with the withdrawal. And that's really what's happening. Why did I instantly go, oh, these are withdrawals. You got to get over these and then never take that shit again. But people like Big Mike go, I got to keeping the pill. And they blame the drug companies. I'm here to say that the only people who become addicted to drugs, the only people who let drugs ruin their lives, are stupid people. And I can prove it. Big Mike was addicted to drugs, and he's going to blame the drug companies for it and take no personal responsibility. And drug people love to do this because drug people, they're so stupid that they get addicted to drugs, okay? They try drugs, and they let the drugs take a hold of them, whereas a smart person instantly sees that this is bad, stop, and they move on. Now, drug people are stupid. That's why they got addicted. They also do a lot of other stupid stuff. And most drug people also get involved in many various different stupid things. They rob their friends. They're mean to their friends. They steal. They do this. They do that. And then, you know, someone's really stupid is when they can't stop talking about their sobriety and how much they've changed. Now, why do they do this? Do they do this because they're trying to save a fellow compadre who got and did the heroin? No, they're doing this because they have guilt. They're doing this because people like Joey Diaz and Big Mike fucked over a lot of people and did a lot of horrendous things in their past. Now, because people like Joey Diaz and Big Mike are now both in the spotlight making a lot of money, every day they worry that somebody is going to call them out for their past guilt, for their bad behavior. So what they do is they come out of the closet and they pretend that they were depressed, anxious, and addicted to drugs, and that's why they fucked over so many people. And they tell all their horrible stories to get ahead of the stories. Take this, for instance. If all of a sudden Big Mike never talked about his drug past, and then tomorrow an article came out that said, Big Mike held me at gunpoint and robbed me for heroin, he'd be canceled. He'd be finished. If Joey Diaz never told his kidnapping story, and then that came out today, they would string him up. But because Joey Diaz ties it into, I was a drug user, I was at rock bottom, and tells the story every day, now it can't come out and be used against him. Now everyone feels sympathy. They go, wow, he's being honest. Wow. He's really, oh my God, he used to be a drug dealer and a terrible guy and he kidnapped people and now he doesn't. He's amazing. What an honest man and a brave man, and he's helping people. A drug user, an addict, and someone who robs people and kidnaps people, that's who they are. They only learn how to swindle even farther. They learn from their mistakes, and they learn how to swindle harder. So when I ask myself, why does Big Mike bring up his drug addiction days so often. Why does he need to write a book? Hey, I got a great story about my boarding school that could easily be a great book. How come I just can tell the story once and move the fuck on and never have to talk about it again? Well, that's because I don't have a belly full of guilt. I'm not using it as an excuse for all of my bad deeds. I'm not living in fear of being canceled. Big Mike is going to tell you some stories today because if someone else told them, he'd be finished. I hope you understand what I've said there. And now, oh my God, this has been up on the screen the whole time. And now we show you Big Mike's cry session and his manipulation session on the latest Impulsive. Would you like to hear this? Here we are, folks. Big Mike, his book came out. It's a novel. Well, no, it's a story. It's a story about his life, but that's a novel, right? Wrong. We're going to start out with some stupidity. Some light stupidity. Here's my guys, and look, Mike's sitting on the guest side tonight. And here's Mac. Remember, Logan Paul's tiny. He's the guy who carries you out of the burning barn. He works for the bad family, but he's kind of good. And here's Logan Paul. Dude, just as I was getting smarter, I realize I'm stupid once again. We're going to go to 440 on the latest Impulsive. We're talking about Big Mike's big book release. None of his friends have read it. They've all begged their audiences to buy it. Here we are, folks. You're going to love this.
Not 5% of the substance that you have in this book. This was a thing that you told me you were making before you even knew what a YouTube was. One of the very first things you told me when we started developing our friendship was, hey man, I don't know if I've told you this, but I've been writing a book for the past 5 years about my life, because I also don't know if you know this, but I've been addicted to drugs for 10 years, and it claimed a better portion of my life, and I'm putting it into a novel, and I write, every...
And I'm putting it into a novel? Is it Lord of the Rings does heroin in Connecticut? Logan Paul thinks all books are novels, and we could prove it. This wasn't just a slip up. He thinks Mike's biopic is a novel. And Big Mike knows it's not a novel, but will not say anything because that would make Logan look very stupid. Watch.
Been addicted to drugs for 10 years, and it claimed a better portion of my life. And I'm putting it into a novel, and I write, every night. And the fact that it's coming to fruition now, I just want to pick your brain about it. And I know the answers to a lot of these questions, but I'm going to give you oops, because beyond the eons of wisdom that you've imparted to me.
Okay, it's not a novel, but I believe no one picked up on that and people have moved on. Nope. Picked up on it right away. In fact, there's another part. Did we have the other novel part?
I think it's coming up soon, but I'm not 100% sure.
All right, let's hear a little bit more. We'll introduce people. We got some amazing time codes, so let's see.
Me and the Impulsive audience, this book is a side to that people have not seen. And sure, our goal is to sell the book. But your goal is to sell the book, but I'm here to help. But also, there's a lot to be taken away from this.
Yeah, I mean, this book is, it's everything. It's completely uncensored.
Oh, wow.
When I wrote this book,
is it going to say the N-word in it? I hope. It's completely uncensored.
It's unrated.
It's unrated. It's rated X. It's the director's cut.
A million times where I went back and forth with myself and said, is this appropriate? Is this something that you want to tell? Is this something you want people to know? And every time I didn't, from a macro standpoint, the easiest way for me to say this is I really did not want to tell this story.
Okay. Here is the top salesman in peak form. Many men were born to be salesmen. What's another word for salesman? Con artists, manipulators. Oh, yes, everyone's met one. You've all been to a used car lot when you were just 16. The guy comes out with a giant $100 smile. Hey, kid, oh, yeah, you're the best. You go to a store. Oh, I love your shoes. Can I help you with anything? Oh, my God, she loves me. Oh, I'll buy it all. A salesman is a scumbag. If you're a salesman, you listen to the show, shame on you. Promoting is one thing. I always say this. Advertising is another. Promoting is, hey, I have a book coming out. Check it out. Advertising is, this book is literally the craziest, most uncensored thing you will ever. They manipulate you into buying, just like the salespeople at the stores, just like the car salesman that everyone has agreed is a scumbag, but people seem to not be able to recognize a salesman in life. Big Mike was born a salesman. He was a drug salesman. He was very popular at that. Sold heroin. Then he was a beanbag salesman. He was so good at that he convinced Logan Paul to become his best friend. When Logan went to the Lovesack beanbag store to buy beanbags, he met Mike. And Mike was such a kiss ass and a great salesman that Logan goes, dude, not only do I want the beanbags, but would you like to come live with me? Rent free. Talk about a salesman. He convinced a millionaire celebrity to invite him into his home and live there and become a millionaire celebrity with him. So Mike has put his salesman skills to the ultimate test, and he's going to sell this book. He's weaseled his way from heroin addict to top influencer within 4 years. He is the best con man.
It's good.
Watch this.
It was not comfortable. It did not feel good to tell the story that I told in this book. It hurt. It was painful. It brought back memories that I already am choking down right now because the feeling associated with those memories is so painful to me.
Interesting.
When I first started writing it, there was going to be a lot of censored stuff. There was going to be a lot of stuff that I kept out, and it was going to be a cookie cutter story of drug addiction and rehabilitation. When you gave me a platform or a sniff of a platform, no pun intended, and people started messaging me and saying, yo, your story makes me feel this way. Your story, I have struggled with this. I've struggled with that. My mom did this, whatever. Your story makes me feel okay. Makes me want to keep going. Even some people who said, your story makes me feel like it's okay to be 27 without knowing exactly what you want to do for the rest of your life. Because I was there. I was 33 with no idea what the fuck I wanted to do with the rest of my life. As soon as I started hearing that stuff, I never cut another thing.
Really?
I brought back everything that I had cut. That is everything. Wow. It's everything. It's every sick, twisted, regret, disgusting thing that I can't wrap my brain around how bad of a state that I was in to have done the things that I did.
He's done a lot of bad things. He needs to get ahead of these things. And also, he wants to write a book for the credit of being an author. So you got two things going on. And I'll tell you this, I got an amazing childhood story that could be a book in an instant. I don't want to write a book at all. You know how many people have come to me, I'll help you write the book. Oh, you should write a book, write a book. No, because I don't constantly think about myself. And I also don't want the credit of being an author. You know, being an author, listen, you get a lot of credit for writing a book. You could write a terrible, nobody's read this book, yet he's getting all the credit. All right, you get 2 weeks dedicated to yourself if you write a book. If you write a book, whether it's shitty or not, everybody thinks you're great. If you make a song, no one cares. If you do a podcast, no one cares. You stand up, no one cares. Write a book. Ooh, you've got our attention. Not only could you make a lot of money from writing a book, but everybody treats you. Ooh. You know, again, if Big Mike wrote to all of his friends and said, hey, I got a song coming out. Will you promote it and give me an interview? People are like, oh, fuck off, man. I have a book coming out. Will you? And everybody buys into it. Oh, my God. He got every influencer in the world to promote his book. They have not read this book. Could be dog shit. But everyone gives, the queen's attention to a book writer. They carve out a week for him. Everything is a special occasion to a book writer. So there's a lot of motivation for a douchebag to write a book. It's a very prestigious thing to do.
And like write a book if you want, fine, but he's acting like he's saved every opiate addicted person in America with this book, the way that he talks about it.
The reason he's writing the book, he wants to come out against all these old stories, because if they came out before he told him, he'd be finished. And that's the truth. Wait till you hear some of these stories. He likes the money, And you get great attention. Yeah, I wrote a book. I'm an author. Oh, wow. No one argues with that. That's like being a doctor.
Now, I didn't really put in any of his stories because then...
That's okay. That's okay. I got
keep
this.
Listening. Like, literally, this whole episode is amazing.
So let's go to 850, and we're going to learn about the forgotten ones. Now, we're going to show you Mike's douchiest moments. Anyone who talks about themselves with this much importance is bad. I don't care if the story needs to be heard by every living soul. You do not talk about yourself in this manner. We're going to go to 850 to really kick things off. I hope you enjoy the Fifth Vital Mike Malik interview on Impulsive. Here we go.
For people who don't know your background, like you've touched on it.
Yeah.
But Mike, what were you addicted to?
Well, let's jump into it.
I'm trying to understand.
Complex answer.
How bad was it?
As bad as it could get. As bad as it could get. This was not some like, I have a overprescription of Xanax and I don't really like how they make me feel. So
shut the fuck up.
This was a 10-year, day after day, bloodbath, fight to the death bout with the addiction to opiates and
10 years, fight to the death, bloodbath with opiates. Believe me, all this is exaggerated.
Amphetamines and Xanax and everything under the fucking sun.
Let's say this is true. Then you're stupid. You know, people, you don't want to admit to this. Okay, you quit the drugs. Did you quit being stupid? Because if you were stupid enough to do what you're claiming you did here, well, you don't just become smart. You stop doing the drugs because you were about to die. Doesn't take a smart person to stop, prevent themselves from dying. So, yeah, you did that, but did you kick the stupid habit? No, because you're on my screen. So if you were so stupid to do all this stuff that you're talking about 5 years ago, well, you just became good? Do you see my point here? So I was right about you being so stupid. And is there such thing as stupid anymore? Or I have a mental illness. When a stupid person makes so many stupid mistakes, they start going mental illness. That's filing for bankruptcy out of being stupid. We all agree. Our society agrees. We hate stupid people. We hate stupid things. And then when they say they're mentally ill, all of a sudden, well, isn't being mentally ill the most stupid guy? I mean, I always said this about a retard. It's like, if you hate stupid people, well, then you're going to despise people with Down syndrome. They're as stupid as it gets. So where do you draw that line? You hear, okay, he's done all this stupid stuff, but then I wasn't stupid. I was mentally ill. Oh, my God, my heart goes out. We got to help the mentally ill. Well, who said you're mentally ill? You don't seem mentally ill. You just seem like a stupid guy that made a bunch of stupid mistakes, and now it's mental illness and the drug companies. Bad mixture. Hey, I'm not to blame.
I would say
you're to blame.
That mentally ill people are smarter because they've seen the true darkness of the world.
You're not mentally ill. That's insulting to the fucking mentally ill. Have you seen what mentally ill people look like? They're clawing through their skin. They're digging tunnels. And have some more respect for yourselves, people. You don't have anxiety. You don't have bipolar disorder. You don't have a mental illness. That's what you think. That's what you want to say about yourself to get out of these issues? Okay. But that's bad. Listen to this.
I like to consider that I was one of the forgotten ones. and people have already asked me, and maybe you would, who this book was for. Why did you write this book? You have a YouTube audience who wants to see you, jump off the roof into a ball pit. Mm-hmm. Do that. Why are you doing this? This book is for the people who...
of course. I'm one of the forgotten ones. So you can see the tone. He's very serious. And believe me, this will trick millions of people. Oh, man, we should really get off Mike's back. Look how open and honest he is.
Big Mike is more serious about his own story than Nanette.
Yes. Hannah Gadsby's Nanette is more lighthearted than this interview here today. All right, let's go to 12 minutes. We got a lot of funny ones. What's this one about?
Oh, just about him saving people in rehab with his book.
Okay, he's saving people. So you're going to hear this build up here. This is important. A big part of Mike's story is this junkie nonsense.
To get clean, I went to rehab. and you find yourself in a hospital setting with no hope. But well, actually, let me rephrase that. You find yourself in a hospital setting with a brand new hope and a brand new kind of lease on life. Yo, I might actually do this every time. And a lot of people who deal with addiction go to rehab multiple times. Yeah. But every time you go, it's just a little spark, like, yo, maybe this is the time. Yep. And your family says, yo, maybe this is the time he gets it right. And they have that little hope. Yep. That's when you want this book. Oh. That's when you want this book. That's
on the way up.
How many junkies do you think actually listen to Logan Paul's Children's Impulsive? You know, he got 5 emails over the course of a year. Dude, you really helped me get through my junkie times. You know, Logan, if this many junkies listen to your show, you're in big, big trouble. I mean, I do a show 10 times more grotesque, and I don't have this many junkies hanging around. I've written this book for everyone who's currently in rehab, coming off a drug addiction, who is willing to die. Read this right before your suicide. It will help you. So that's who I wrote it for. I hope you don't have that many fans in that particular situation. Sounds pretty awful.
When you're in rehab, you have nothing to do. You have you go to groups, you spend a lot of time by yourself reflecting, thinking about things that you regret or things you wish you could have done better, or how you would have treated your wife better if the circumstances weren't the way they were. And you have a lot of time to read. You have a ton of time to read. I read a lot when I was in rehab. And so this is I think it's a great piece for anybody. And I think we're in a different age now. A lot of the people
So it's for everybody. It's for junkies. If you're an athlete, this book's for you. Okay, here we go. 2520. Mike cries. Would you like to see Big Mike cry? This is part of the sales pitch.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, he's bringing up some real emotions, but this is what a con man does. He cries on demand to sell. Here we go, 2820. And believe me, this gets far worse. You don't get on this screen unless you've done something dastardly, you know? Here he is, crying. He's about to cry.
And it came to a point where she had nowhere else to turn. She didn't have enough money to put him in a home. They were going to repossess his house. It just was
all of his friends have died or have been to jail, and it's all been such chaos. Okay. You know, that's not good either. So every story is, my friends are all, I don't even have one friend that isn't a minute from death. It's like, okay, well, that's alarming. It's not actually cool. You know, they've convinced us this is honorable. Here.
Unfortunate circumstance. And she said, I think she just like dug within her and she was like, hey, like, can you go watch after Pop-Pop? Like, all you have to do is these 3 things, like, every day. Just make sure he doesn't fucking leave the house, kill himself, like, fall down the stairs. Like, he shouldn't be doing these things. And everything inside of me wanted to be like, yeah, Mom, I could do that.
It just tastes like vodka.
Well,
I got this.
Maybe like 6 months to a year into it, I had started this new drug. And there was a day when
he started a new drug. Would you like to know what drug it is? You're going to learn. What do you think the new drug he started? Talking about as if it's like some sort of prescription. Oh, I'm on a new drug right now. We'll see how it goes. Let's hear about the new drug Mike started in this story. Cheers, everybody.
My grandfather was in his recliner. He was downstairs, and he was
Hennessy.
He was just screaming like, "Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me!" Like he was stuck in the chair. He couldn't get up, and he had to go to the bathroom. And he probably was like peeing and shitting himself, and was just in the worst way that you could ever imagine. And I was in the attic smoking crack. I was paranoid, and I couldn't help my grandfather.
You were in the attic smoking crack? You know, I get it. We gotta stop having sympathy for these people who just stopped doing. Yeah, it's like, dude, we didn't smoke crack. You know, we didn't do all this stuff. We forget they really try to manipulate you into feeling bad for them. So you smoked crack, of course, the gnarliest drug. Now, he's going to talk about crack in a very racist way. And he's a white kid, rich white kid from Connecticut. The maniac's in. So we're going to hear what he thinks about who should be smoking crack and who shouldn't. Wait till you hear this.
And
is it here or should we fast forward?
I think that you accidentally went a little bit too far in the future.
Yeah, of course. You got to stop me here.
2630 is the part that you're talking about.
See, I went to 2830. That's why. All right, here we are.
I guess it's connected to it, but I've talked about this a little bit, but my rock bottom, my true rock bottom was in 2010. I started a new drug because I was offered it in my lowest, non-thinking point of my life, crack cocaine.
Oh.
And bro, crazy. Like, think about what I'm fucking saying to you right now, bro. Yeah. Like, think about what I'm saying to you. Like, I was just a regular white Connecticut kid. And I put white on it just because, whether it's, for whatever reason, but crack cocaine is generally thought to be an inner city drug.
Whoa, right? A black man's drug. He said it.
Dude, think about how crazy this is. Me, a white, did a black man's substance. That's how fucked I was. I was doing things blacks would do. Isn't that crazy?
That's racist, bro. That's very racist. Let's hear more. And Logan, by the way, is scared out of his fucking mind.
Logan doesn't really want to know this much about him.
You don't turn into a good guy. It's like, dude, you did crack, you stole, you shot, you robbed, you sold. You're not a good guy. You just stop doing the things that cause immediate arrest. You know what I mean? Like, now you're just doing another hustle. Check this out.
Because whether it's, for whatever reason, but crack cocaine is generally thought to be an inner city drug.
Whoa!
Right? And
so you're suburbs, Mike.
I was just
acknowledging your privilege.
I was a privileged kid, bro. A middle class community. And at one point, someone offered me crack cocaine, and I tried it. And what ensued was the worst year of my life.
Okay, so this is the part where you're an idiot. Someone offers you crack cocaine, do it, and then go, man, but this is crack cocaine, the drug that turns people into what's called crackheads, something everyone makes fun of. I will stop. But not Big Mike, because he was stupid or depressed but it all boils down to you were bad. You know what I mean? At some point, you got to take some responsibility. Why isn't everyone addicted to crack? The opiate crisis, it's not everybody. Every person who's ever had surgery has been put on an opiate afterwards. Sure, some people have refused it, but every person gets on it. Why aren't they all heroin addicts? Well, because only the stupid people become heroin addicts. Most people get the drug, and they just stop using it after their surgery. And yes, they go through some withdrawals, but then they go, got to get through these. They don't just dedicate their life to the drug that they've been told kills people. Okay? So, yeah, there's that. And, if you're sitting at home addicted to a substance, well, ask yourself this. Does it kill you? Maybe you're addicted to something. But if it doesn't kill you, if it killed you, you'd probably stop, wouldn't you? All right, let's see what happens next. We're going to go to 3550, right? 3550?
Yeah, this is a super long story that he tells. It's 3350. This is
there
one of his
go.
wild stories, so we could listen to see if this is...
Here's a wild story. Here we go, 3350.
When did you start writing?
Wait, what about the one where your leg got caught in a pothole?
Yeah, that was 2008. And by the way, worst injury, even though it was not the most life-threatening. I'll just tell the story, the whole story quickly. This is at a time when I'm selling a lot of heroin.
He's selling
a lot. Like it's got to a point where, and this was all.
Can you get in trouble for saying this now?
Nah, I believe we're past statute of limitations. Jed, you can go ahead and fact check me on that one, but it's all in the book. So fucking come grab me, dude. Because if it ain't today, it's tomorrow. All right, it's all in the fucking book.
That's what Joey Diaz said. If it ain't today, it's tomorrow. That's a guilty man's slogan. See, that's why he really wrote this book. It's a belly full of guilt. You got to get out in front of it. Joey Diaz said the same thing. If it ain't today, it's tomorrow. I know it's coming. So they do it. They do it. Listen to that again.
Dude, because if it ain't today, it's tomorrow. All right? See? It's all in the fucking book. But I was doing everything I did to support my own addiction. I had to, it was how I was going to do it. And I was selling, the worst possible thing, I was making other people's lives miserable.
Oh.
At the time, I thought I was a doctor. Sick people would come to me. I would make them not sick. I felt great about it. Obviously, now I see the harm in my ways.
Yeah. Have you ever considered getting breast implants? I also thought I was a plastic surgeon to the stars. In reality, I just wanted to see A-list celeb tits.
But I was a doctor. I pushed. So not only did he use heroin, he sold it. And this is where that guilt comes into play. Because God forbid, imagine someone goes, dude, this guy used to sell heroin to me. Well, he'd be fucked. So yeah, he's got to write a book about it. Otherwise, he's screwed.
But moreover, I was trying to take care of my desperate self. Like, how am I going to get drugs today? Was always the question. That's the same question. Imagine asking yourself that same question every day. It's the only question you ever ask yourself. So I go to meet this kid. Me and this kid had beef. He was a dealer in the same city as me. And there's always this crit. Hopefully, a lot of people don't know what this is about, but there's a lot of beef between connects in each city. You don't want other people touching your customer base. You don't want other people touching your plug. You want to have everything. It's all, you want it all to be yours.
Oh, wow.
This kid couldn't get drugs that day. He was dry. He had a lot of customers that he wanted to serve. It was Memorial Day, 2000, to West Haven, Connecticut. I don't really. Okay. I leave. I go to the house. I pull up brand new Infiniti G35 that I didn't pay for. I partially paid for it. My grandmother helped me. She was my semi-enabler of the group. She took care of me at all costs. I pull up and I go to sell this kid drugs, and he's like, come on, just give it to me. And I was like, bro, give me the fucking money. You know how this works. I'm not giving you shit until you give me the fucking money. And he's like, no, I want to run inside and put it on the scale. I was like, yo, give me the fucking money or I'm leaving. You know how this goes down. And he goes, you think I have to fucking beat you? And he pulls out a wad of cash, starts counting. He's got a big gold chain on, a wife beater, classic like street shit, right? Red Solo cup. And I'm like, whatever, fuck it, bro. I have my boys with me. He was by himself. So I put it in his hand. He goes, you're fucking beat. Fucking do something about it. And he walks out. I can't tell you the amount of times I went above and beyond when somebody tried to beat me are not in this book. I've jumped on the hood of moving cars and been driven down the street at 6. You don't fucking beat me, bro. There is one story where kids try to do it and I jumped.
This is funny because I beat you every fucking day. Is he going to come after me with his heroin ways? You don't fucking beat me. Now he's going to explain what beat means in drug terms.
Logan doesn't understand heroin terms.
No, come on. These guys are from Sunnyside, Ohio. They did not do drugs. Logan is very clean. He puffed a weed puff once, but he does not know what beat means in, the way Mike's telling it. So listen to this.
On the side of the car and they sped away and jerked the wheel and I flew off into the street. I lost skin up down my whole body. I don't want to get beat. When you get beat in the drug game, you're a fucking bitch.
What do you mean get beat?
Like you don't want to get your product stolen.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, so you know all about it. Yeah.
I was a psycho, bro.
You know what I'm saying, man.
So he's like, fuck you, you're fucking beat. Bro, the second he turned around, my door was already open and I was on the way behind him. So he starts moving quick and I'm walking up behind him and I go to literally go throw a punch at the back of his head and I step into like a little hole in the driveway. But there's like an overhang of cement. So my foot kind of locks in there. Yeah. And his boy that I didn't know was on the side of the house waiting for all this to go down comes and fucking drills me from the side. I mean, absolutely fucking drills me. And I just hear, and so then the shock sets in. Cause I've been through this scenario 15,000 times with shit that should.
Sounds like Joey Diaz here with his many stories. It's so funny how the people we think are liars also have thousands and thousands of unbelievable stories. Here, he's going to keep going. You got to hear the end of this story. It gets really loony.
Shouldn't be happening. So you go into military mode. So I start to assess it. Now, and by the way, now I'm on the ground. First thing I look down, I see my foot is 180. Completely hanging off sideways. Skin broken, bone piercing the skin. Compound fracture, horrifying. Now I look up and there's fists coming at my face. Fist, over and over. So I'm just getting fucked up. My legs hanging off. The neighbors are outside. There's heroin on the ground. There's cash all over the place. My boys get out of the car, out of the backseat of the Infiniti, run over, and they beat the fuck out of the two kids. My boy, I'm not going to even say their names. One of them chokes him out. We get the product back. I G.I. Joe crawl back to my passenger seat and pull myself into the car and we fucking speed off. Okay.
This gets worse.
Now we're in West Haven. We're speeding down the street. I also had, for some reason, brought a shit ton of product with me to the deal. So I had a whole bunch of shit on me. We had to go stop and drop it back off in my boy's sock drawer. So we stopped there. Now keep in mind, this is the majority of people are like, yo, ambulance. get to the hospital.
Yeah.
I have to go drop drugs off first. I can't go to the hospital. I can't risk it. So we drop the shit off. We drop everything in the house, and he's driving. And every time he doesn't drive stick. So every time he puts it in second, my foot, bad.
You don't know how to operate the clutch.
Bad.
Finally, something Logan can relate to. You know, Logan's probably a race car driver too.
I'm the fastest race. Oh man, you don't know how to operate no clutch.
Logan is so cute when Mike is being really annoying. It just makes Logan that much cuter.
The clutch, sure. Finally, a place that I can relate to. Look at this.
My foot, bad.
You don't know how to operate the clutch.
Bad.
Rookie mistake.
I love that part.
So we get to the I-95, which is a infamous part of my story, and everybody on the East Coast, shout out East Coast, I-95 knows what I'm talking about. We get on I-95, we go to the ramp, and we're about to go to Milford Hospital. We're gonna drive from West Haven to Milford. We get to the ramp. I see the light. I'm like, we're home free. Every single fucking ordinance at the same time. Major crimes unit, narcotics team, the dogs, every fucking buddy, uniform cop, undercover detectives, everybody converges on us at the same time as we're about to turn on the ramp.
Public enemy number one.
Middle of the road. They're directing cars around us. I'm sitting there like this with my hands in the air, my foot hanging off of my body. My other boys are already face down in the middle of the street, handcuffed, with a 20-year-old cop with that fucking gun. Get the fuck out of the fucking car! Screaming. Now, I'm sitting there like a child at this point. At slow-mo. You know that, like, he's going to ideate that feeling, right? Slow-mo. Officer, I can't look in my leg. I don't give a fuck if you have a leg. Get out of the fucking car! So I have to then, with my arm, pull myself and throw myself onto the concrete where I stayed for 2 hours.
Look at Logan.
As they searched my car for guns. Because the neighbors who called the cops said that there was an armed robbery with handguns. They propped my foot up on my golf bag with my golf clubs.
Damn, dude, no way. Golf?
That I probably was playing golf with my dad the weekend earlier in some trying to have a normal life, some semblance of a normal life.
You're all yelling lies.
And I sat there and they searched the car. Luckily they didn't find anything because they found like a couple empty bags. It wasn't a big deal. But then they brought me to the hospital and that was just another. What
about your foot that wasn't on your body?
Now
you didn't bleed out.
He does show a picture of him having a little scar.
Yeah, he's got like 3 stitches in his ankle. But listen, your foot wasn't falling off. You'd bleed to death if you laid there for 2 hours with no foot. Right?
Also,
you got a sprained ankle, probably.
Big Mike is known to be the biggest exaggerator of all time. I always say this to Mike when we're watching him. Everything to him is the best.
Well, that's what I mean. He's a salesman. That's what salesmen do. Everything is the grandest thing you could ever think of.
Him and Logan literally just got in a fight because he exaggerated about a shrimp too much.
Okay, here's somebody who did drugs. This is what somebody who did drugs. Watch. Yeah, when I was younger, I did a lot of drugs. Anyway, what's going on? You want to go get something to eat? Here's Big Mike. When I was younger, I was addicted. And then a musical starts playing. I was just a Connecticut boy. Facts. I ran into some really bad kids. Facts. My life got turned into the worst. It's like, stop with the dramatics. Narcissists really like to blow up their own stories. Again, I could be fucking talking about my old stories every minute of the day. I don't, because I don't give a fuck. He's making a fucking musical about his life day in and day out. Shut up. Who cares? You were a screw up. Now get it straight.
They threw fucking 2 plates, 20 screws into my ankle.
Yeah,
I'm bionic on that ankle, and that injury, even with the splenectomy, the hernia, the fractured skull, all the concussions, all the car accidents, that day in 2008, and that injury has the biggest effect on my life.
Along with every fucking thing else you say, everything's the biggest, best, crazy, most impactful day. I mean, really, everything he's talking about, he punctuates like this.
Plus, did you get to? There's another unbelievable part coming right up.
Should we keep playing here?
Did he say the part where if he didn't drop the product off, then he would be in jail?
I don't know. I was working on my musical. Yeah, let's see what happens next.
Pictures of this, but after I got clean, I was 300 pounds.
That's funny you say. I have it right pulled up.
There's the ankle right there.
Yep.
There's his ankle.
This was
2 stitches.
Drug Mike.
I'm so glad I don't know this person.
The car above it is that G35.
No, why is it like this, Mike? Why is there a tree in the engine, Mike?
Because a couple months after that, I drove it off a cliff.
Jesus Christ.
Off a cliff.
Bro.
Yeah, because of the drug companies. Okay, let's see what happens next. What time code do I go to here?
The next one's not that great. You can go to 44. Yeah, 4435.
4435.
Mike has had it since the day he
Oh
was
my
born.
God, this is the part. This is going to really drive you crazy. So Mike is not popular just because Logan Paul and Lana Rhodes. No, it couldn't be. He'd be just as popular if he was on his own, right? If this guy just started making YouTube videos with no promotion, with no cosign, he'd be just as big, right? Well, let's see. Let's see what he thinks.
Important word to me. I have been obsessed with that word since the 2000s.
You're gonna love this.
Listen, Logan Paul gave me a platform. Lana Rhodes has given me a ton more views. I've had it, whatever you want to call it, since the day I was fucking born, dude. Whatever you want to say it is. I was in the gifted program from 4th grade.
Okay! I couldn't even believe it. You know, every time, because he speaks with such, like dramatics, you think he's going to say something normal, and then it always blows your mind with like how crazy and conceited it really is. I've always had it. Yeah, Logan gave me some views, Lana gave me some more eyes, but I've always had it. Oh, they're going nuts.
We watched this whole episode staring at the TV like it was a movie.
Yeah, we couldn't believe it. Listen to this. This gets worse.
I've had it, whatever you want to call it, since the day I was fucking born, dude. Whatever you want to say it is. I was in the gifted program from 4th grade until high school.
Wow.
Yo, your son has an aptitude that is way above fucking average.
You know what's so funny? You sent us the group chat, the report card from like when he was 6 years old.
So funny.
And the comment was that the teacher left was like, very smart kid, tends to talk out of place.
Yeah, they say that about all
I
of
was
us.
fucking born.
Nothing's changed
Since the day I was born. But yeah, I always knew I had it, but the biggest story there is no matter how smart you are,
If your
no matter
report
how
card, if your report card says it's a very smart kid, but that means you're the dumbest kid
Exactly.
in the class.
It's called the teachers aren't going to fucking roast the hell out of the kid to the parents. What do you think they say?
they're
Your
in
kid's
grade
retarded.
1.
He sucks. I want him out of the school. No, he's in 3rd grade. It's always going to be a sweet thing. You know, I was like the worst fucking kid. They said the same thing about me. I don't go around bragging. Mike is very talented and very smart, but he's horrible in class. Yeah. You can't just say, kid's horrible. Kid stinks. I wish I didn't have him. He's a headache. And Mike believes that, like, dude, I'm one of the gifted it kids. Yeah. I wish that character, It, was after you. That clown. Is that his name? It?
Yep.
Here.
well trained or how well versed you are in this life, your card could get pulled at any time.
Yep.
At any fucking time. You are not invincible. And I wasn't. I fell victim slightly, whether you want to call it choice, you want to call it disease, whatever you want to call it. I fell into a hole. And mine was bad. It was bad, as you could tell. You know what I'm saying? And so I think the biggest thing that comes out of that choice versus disease story that I told earlier,
Yep.
whether you think the addict down the street from you or that lives in your house or your family member or whatever chose to do it, or it was the addiction that did it to them, my question is this. Does it matter?
Yes.
Does it matter
Yep.
what the reason was?
Yes.
The
So
biggest, most
profound.
important.
It's like, okay, let's say I steal a car and blow up a guy's house. And then I get arrested and everyone's mad at me and I go, I was on drugs. See? It wasn't a choice. See? No. It's still bad. Yeah, everything you did was bad. Who cares if it was an addiction or not? It's bad. You're trouble. All right. I know that sounds very unfair, and a lot of people have been brainwashed into thinking, just get the hell out of here. You know, we got enough people who aren't doing this.
He's asking for it with his self-important tone. You wouldn't be yelling at someone who is telling their story in a normal way.
Exactly. You know, sure, you want to be, and I said this like, you know, when I talk about the anxious people. Yeah, if you're at home minding your own beeswax and you're anxious, I'm not coming to your door and ripping on you. I'm ripping on these guys. They want to be the king clout makers. Kings of the internet. Well, you can't be king of the internet when you were robbing, stealing, doing drugs, driving your car off a cliff, your leg was breaking off, you're going to shoot out with the cops. At some point, you're just a scumbag. And how funny is it that I thought you were a scumbag without knowing these things? Huh, I wonder why. So, yeah, I just don't care. It's like, oh, what was me? Yeah, I would use this excuse, too, if I had committed all those crimes. Hey, guys, I was an addict. Aren't I brave and nice now? The world will say yes. All right, what's this next time code? This, in fact, gets way worse.
Next time is... Now, I had to, narrow this down. If you really love Big Mike stuff, you should watch this whole episode, because every single thing was great. But this next part is a cute Logan moment, 49:55.
This is a really cute moment.
I love this part.
Let's see what happens here. I think this will speak for itself, and then I'll do an impression of what you just saw.
And it is the same mentality that pushes me through every single moment I face today in my new career in this new LA. I tell myself that if I'm able to let this mentality seep into every cell of my body, I can never lose. And this goes for anyone and everyone.
Oh, so he's reading like this passage. You know, Mike's constantly writing poems and passages to explain his behavior. And Logan's
books.
like, dude, when I first realized you were the real deal, it's when I read this.
Every cell of my body, I can never lose. And this goes for anyone and everyone. That I know for sure. Okay. Don't take this personally.
Yeah. I love when you say that.
In my mind,
Yeah.
I don't picture you as like a fighter, like physically,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Like a competitor.
Right.
But what you're describing here is a warrior fucking mentality.
Yeah.
So for people who are like me, bro, strip me down, primal, I'm gonna beat the fucking shit out of you, bro. Like when I was dying on the bathroom floor because the hot shit, Mac used the word fight, and I was like, I was dying. I was like, oh, you fuck you, I'm gonna fuck it. So how can you be the warrior when, again, don't take this personally, like you aren't a inherent physical warrior.
Oh my God.
The warrior manifests itself.
Okay, dude, what you're writing right here sounds like a warrior spirit. But wait a minute. You don't do boxing matches like me. How could this be? I thought only warriors, even mentally, had to be physical warrior. But you don't box?
That's really what just fucking happened!
Dude, this sounds like the same stuff I spew when I'm boxing. But how could it be? You don't even have muscles like mine. Mind blown.
Well, first of all, he's just saying nonsense that sounds good that you believed because you're stupid. And second, you don't have to be a boxer to fight through life, you fucking idiot!
Aw, he means well.
Dude, this sounds like a warrior, but like, you don't have giant traps. How could it be?
The warrior, when, again, don't take this personally, like you aren't a inherent physical warrior.
Yeah. The warrior manifests itself in so many ways. I mean,
Dude, like, you could mentally get through things even if you're not a giant boxer. Dude, I did not know that. I thought only boxers get through mentally hard time. Damn. Because that's why I was boxing. I could be mentally get through without boxing?
Yes. Didn't you realize, like, you know how most of the world doesn't become a boxer?
I was always wondering why they weren't boxers. I was like, they must be mentally weak.
These people are really dumb.
and it's never, you know, just the alpha fighter. That's just one physical aspect of the warrior. The warrior is the biggest thing.
I thought kids don't listen to this. Then why are you explaining things only a toddler would need to know? This is crazy, man. Let's skip ahead to the next one here.
Okay, the next one is 120.00.
Oh,
this speaks for itself.
Here's where it gets really good. So a lot of people have accused Mike, and I've accused him this, and I know it to be true. Mike is a salesman. He went from heroin addict to Logan Paul's friend within 4 years. He sold Logan on the beanbags. He sold him on the friendship. Whether Mike knows it or not, he's using the sales techniques of the manipulator to climb. And they work on stupid people, just like sales work on stupid people. That's the reason Brian Redban is in a Tesla right now. Okay. Usually a good salesman can make a man buy something that he is not ready to take on. This is why Logan is best friends with Mike, a heroin addict, junkie robber, right? So Mike has been accused of clout chasing, even by Logan's brother Jake and Logan's family. This guy is just trying, and Mike swears, no, it's not true. Well, Mike is going to tell you that he has proof that it's not true, and this is coming up right now. I've never seen anything like this, so stop whatever you're doing and come with me. Come with me to 120. I'll take you into incredible world of fascination with Big Mike. I'll show you facts and some lies. Thank you. 120.00. You're never going to hear a man speak about himself like this. Even Joey Diaz is rolling his baladingas at this one. Watch this.
Did it again, Jeff. The other people that were on the team, I won't mention at this time, that were part of the team, and everybody didn't yell much at you, but I probably did. But that's
you did.
But anyways, that was like as I started to transition into the team. But the one thing that was always there was the belief that I was doing all of this because I genuinely cared about you as a person, and that was the reason. And there was always a you still to this day have this filter. You know, why is this person doing this? You knew early that I was a good person. Mm-hmm. You just knew, and that's why this is not in the book. So I guess there are a couple things.
Talk about the shrimp.
No, not the shrimp. But similarly, the garage night where the first time where it went down, one of the worst times with everybody, and we don't have to name names or anything, but you stood up to your own family members in my defense.
Wow.
About to throw hands.
About to throw hands in a fight that almost went down. And I can say without question, without any thought whatsoever.
Okay, now what do you think he's going to say? I could say without question, without any doubt whatsoever. What would you think he's going to say? Try to guess. Because you're not going to believe it. It's crazier than you would have guessed. Watch what he's going to say. I, without a doubt, without any question, know. Watch this.
Without question, without any thought whatsoever, that I am a good person.
Whoa!
I know that. I was raised a good person.
Oh my God.
Mother hasn't put that in me. My grandmother, my father, everything about me. Not everything. Oh. I have some pitfalls, yes, but at heart, I am a good person.
Oh.
And that is why I said, to your point, I know it's funny, but I knew that if I walked away from everything during a point that was not your best or brightest, it was going to work out. And I'm happy I did, and it was fucking horrible for a while. It was fucking tragic.
Even with the
do you hear that little noise in the background? That's like,
yeah,
that's Logan running his toothpick across his teeth because he's so bored.
Because he's got a toothpick now. Yeah, he don't really like this. When could we go back to like promoting my big fight coming up? This is too much co-host stuff. So yes, he is a good person, and you know how he knows this? Because I know deep in my heart that I'm good. Duh. Obviously, that proves it. Now he's going to talk about something else. Does this come up here where he tells about how he made Logan a steak taco and that proves he's a good person?
Oh, maybe.
Do we have that?
I'll find it if not.
All right, let's play a little bit more. This gets even wilder.
The shrimp thing, like when Mike and I broke up for a week. my conclusion was, and sometimes it takes me a bit to come to these conclusions, is that I've never questioned Mike's intent. And we talk about this a little, Andre. Just like, and Gary Vaynerchuk actually told me this after Tokyo.
Gary V.
Intent does not always equal outcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes it doesn't matter what your intent is.
Foxalicious.
It's execution.
Right.
Yeah.
In this specific scenario with you, it does. Because I know your intent is and always has been good. And so it was good. It was a good, I don't know. I guess I'm just saying, like, yes, you're a very good person.
Yeah.
You're a
Wow.
very good person.
And I wasn't always, but I think it's something that I was always deep down, but then I was able to push it away for so long, and now I try to let it rule everything that I do. And so,
bro, I realized this about you actually for
this.
the first time when I forget where we were. We were driving around the Yeti somewhere. There was like a homeless man at a gas station. And you're like, yo, can you give this guy like $20? I don't have any cash on me. I was like, I don't have any cash on me either, but like, what about him? Like is it whatever?
Yeah,
and you're like, you go,
this,
I don't know. I just like doing this. And bro, ever since then, I've seen you chasing down homeless men, throwing your money at them. like they're running from you now.
Yeah, I know.
Like, do you show up and take my money?
Good. Oh, good. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad that worked. You know, a manipulator con man, he works in that kind of stuff into his con. We're going to hear another story here.
Yeah, it's coming up later.
You know, a manipulator con man knows that he has to do some freebies to prove to the guy he's conning that he's not conning him. I mean, any master manipulator would work that in. So we're going to hear a story. This is coming up right here.
Yeah, it's in a little bit.
Yeah.
No. You have to go to another time code.
What
but
time?
Next, Mike is going to tell his most Hollywood moment at 1:35:00.
Okay, but I want to do the one about the steak taco first.
Okay, then go to 1:37:55.
1:37:55. This is how Mike proves that he's not just using Logan for fame. 1:37 what?
1:37:55.
Okay, Here we are. Listen to this story here.
Help on Amazon right fucking now. Amazon paperback May 5th, aka today. Paperback and ebook. Yeah, what were you saying, Hustler?
Are you hustling me? Is our friendship real, or is this some sort like? Is your tweet about chestnut checkers? Like, are you playing chess with me?
There's a lot of people out there, a lot of influential people in your life, loved ones even, or old loves, who would believe that and who would like to believe
it's
that.
true.
And not actually, you know what? Fuck that. There's really none now.
Oh.
But at one point there were more.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that because you got rid of all of them?
Yeah, I had them all whacked. No.
Watch this.
When I joined this team, when I first started offering those character notes, there was never a yo, there's a future here for you, man. Here's some money. I paid my flights. I flew on my own dime.
It's called a long con. It's called investing into your future. Listen, before he tells the story, I'll probably say this again, but just being friends with Logan Paul is a gift to anybody. Okay? Now, in his head, he could go, no, I'm not like actively writing out a plan where I'm using you, but would you be friends with Logan Paul if he was just some guy who walked into your beanbag store? I mean, otherwise, you'd probably befriend every person that came in and bought a beanbag. But no, you picked Logan Paul. The guy with the huge house with the backyard that looks like a resort. The guy that gets free stuff everywhere he goes. The guy where every Instagram model hangs out with him. The guy who's famous. Even if he's not paying you, even if he's not directly giving you anything, you've won. You've won the lottery just by being his friend. He knows that. So, yeah, you're going to be on your best behavior, whether you've planned it or you haven't. As a guy like Mike, you're seeing Logan and you go, hey, if we could share one laugh together, I could certainly share. It's like a woman. Yeah, maybe you're not a gold digger, but you didn't marry that 80-year-old man for his looks. You didn't marry him because you married him because he's rich. You're going to be taken care of. It's a huge motivator. But Big Mike is going to go out of his way and tell a story about the one time he did something for Logan without pay to prove that he's the real deal. Here we are.
I came here. There was never yo, I'm going to tag you in this. You're going to have a channel. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. When it came time that I was offering so much value, especially post-Tokyo, where someone said to me, this was a big moment for me. This was a big fucking moment for me.
Yeah, right.
When the whole world was in disorder and everything was falling to shit and the house of cards was falling around me. You said to me, I said we were going over who the next leader of this organization was going to be on the business side. And I said, I don't fucking like him. I don't fucking like him. And I got pissed off. And you said, well, then why don't you fucking
why don't you do it?
Why don't you be the CEO if you know so well? You have corporate experience, you'd crush it. I said, I could have had it all right there. Could have been the head of this team, took on a percentage, could have fucking ran the team, been a massive part of the organization. Right there. And that was before we were even close at all. And I said, Logan, I'm not the person for that job, but I will help you find that person.
Oh,
That you did?
And when 6 months after that, he said, yo, it's time to get you on payroll. What do you want? I said, you tell me what I want. You let's play with some figures. You tell me what you're comfortable with.
Damn.
And I'll do it.
You must be the real deal.
Those could be incredible chess moves. Or I guess at the end of the day, how do you ever really know? I guess the biggest answer to that is...
See, and a good con man works all of this into their con. A good con man doesn't get defensive about this. He works out this stuff and he goes, it could be a chess move. Yes, because it is. Even if you don't know it, it is. Here, he's got another example.
What do I do for you when there is no victory in it? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like last night is just one quick example of like, you came home stoned, you found an owl, and you said, not to me, but you just said, damn, I'm fucking hungry right now.
Yeah, I just kind of said it.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I get something to eat. Now, I'm already a fucking leader on this team. I'm a part of the podcast. I got my night shift. You already gave it all to me. There's no victory left.
Yes, there is.
And I got that frying pan out and I dumped that steak in
Holy
there.
fuck, you made me tacos. You made me steak tacos.
It's what do you do for somebody when there's no victory? And that's
perfect. As if you didn't work that into the whole plan.
You
Yeah,
just
of
got your
course.
victory right now telling the story.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you got to work in some freebies to show them it's not a complete con. Yeah, what kind of idiot would only do the con part? So you have that. And, of course, Logan, again, buys right into that. And this is what a salesman does. A salesman compliments you. He laughs at all your jokes. He didn't become friends with Logan just because you were cool. You probably laughed at every word that flew out of his mouth. You told him how great he was. Tokyo came around. Everyone else is wrong. Everyone hated Logan at the time, but you stuck by him. You knew what you were getting out of this. And believe me, the only reason Logan likes you is because you've propped him up so high. You know, he could fall to his death if he slips. So, yeah, this doesn't prove anything. And by the way, if I was being accused of this, I would just go, I don't know what to tell you. You know, let them believe whatever they want. That's what a real person does. They don't go out of their way to go, oh, yeah? Well, one time I made him steak tacos. Took no payment. Yeah, did it out of the goodness of my heart. Steak tacos. This is 26 minutes of cooking. Now, would someone trying to con their way into millions of dollars in a star-studded life do that? Yes. Have you not seen Entourage? You're the Johnny Drama of this fucking house. Except Johnny Drama was nice. Johnny Drama was nicer. So, yeah, it's like you telling me all this makes it even more of a con. Like, you don't even know you're doing this. This is the path of the drug addict. Joey Diaz did the same thing to Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan is Logan Paul in the situation with Joey Diaz where he just falls for it because Joey goes, you're the best, Joe Rogan. Oh, wow. Some guy who's cooler than me thinks I'm the best? Well, I love him. Here's some riches. Oh, I will never let you down, Joe Rogan. Thank you for the riches. I'm not using them for riches. Well, you are. You wouldn't be friends with him if he didn't have the riches. So, I mean, that's what I think, at least. All right, do we have some more codes here for the people?
If you want Big Mike to tell his Hollywood story,
Yeah,
you could go to
okay.
135 or you can go to the end. It's up to
What's
you.
at the end?
Just the ending. But
What happens? Is it something
just
good?
like a little message from Big Mike to end it
Little
off.
message, okay,
But if
let's-
you wanted the other one, I would do that first before the end. Or you could just do the
Nah,
end.
I like the ending. What time is the ending?
144:00.
144. Oh, add one more 4. We got a big problem. All right, 144, you say. All right, here we are. The big ending. Let's see Mike's final message today on the release of his book, his big book that he's already started. You know, he already today released #1 bestseller on Amazon. So which category is in this? depressed drug addict book, Lie Stories. Which number one is he in? Remember Kumia did this where he goes, I have the number one selling book in general broadcasting, a category that nobody has even known about. So yeah, okay, number one book. Let's hear his final message.
To you that I don't know if I've ever seen before. Like everything you said was said with such conviction and truth. It was magical, man, and it was
good.
really
I'm glad
beautiful.
that worked.
And I can see it because I finally got to look you in the eyes when you tell these stories.
That's yeah, good. I'm glad this all worked out exactly how I planned it. Yeah, like that's exactly what I wanted you to think at the end. Like, yeah, I'm perfect, see? Man, Logan is easy. This rules. I am gonna have to write another book though because I'm worried about all this new stuff. Fuck.
Big one. It's the subject matter, but it's also like I wasn't fighting at all. Like it was like we were having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Which was great.
It's really great, man. So thank you. Yeah, guys, he said it, but his book, The Fifth Vital, is now available on Amazon. I'm gonna put the link in the description. And just excited for this week. We got a massive week ahead of us.
Oh.
Big fucking week.
Impulsive, baby. Fucking number one podcast in the world. Continue to keep rolling. Let's go. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Mac, also, hey, thank you, bro.
Yeah,
Hey, Mike, crush it, bro. Congratulations.
Thank you, bro.
Fuck Mac.
Hey, if you're watching this and you're sad, keep going. If you're having struggle, if you're stressed out, if you're feeling like you're not gonna make it, you don't know what to do with your life, you've been addicted, you've been stressed out, or whatever.
Kill yourself.
Keep pushing forward.
No.
Shit'll start happening for it, and it won't stop.
listen
It'll
to
be
him.
beautiful.
Bye. I
And then they
can't.
hide behind, Joey Diaz says too. I'm helping people. I'm offering them a gift by telling them the stories of my crimes. What is this an offering? No, you're being paid. You donating those proceeds, Joey and Mike, to organizations of people that are sick. You're not helping people. These guys get it in their head. They'll get 5 emails from 5 retards. I get these emails all the time. You helped me through some of the toughest times. Okay, maybe some of them are real, but I don't go around going, I help people, man. I get them through tough times, dog. It's like, doesn't matter what your content is. I'll tell you this. Anybody with an audience is receiving those emails. You've gotten me through tough times. Mostly it's people that just want to talk to you, okay? So Mike probably got 20 emails over the course of the year. Dude, you saved me from my heroin. And then because he's such a narcissist, look how much I'm helping people. I'm doing this book for them. Oh, yeah? It's funny how you're keeping the money. Are you doing it for them? What are you doing for them? Telling you that your foot got cut off with a car chase once? How's that help? Doesn't help nobody. And by the way, junkies don't listen to Logan Paul. They're too cool. All right? They're out doing cool stuff. Like drugs! People listen to drugs, listen to Impulsive and fake rap beefs between children? No. I'm the only drug user that listens to this show. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. Wasn't that fantastic? It's his big book day. Listen, Jules is going to be speed reading the book. It does turn out. A lot of people thought this was going to be a pamphlet. 350 pages. Yikes. Now, I said to Jules, that's going to take a year. And she goes, no, I can do it in 2 days.
I'm sure it's written very simply,
It would take,
so you'll be like...
No. A 350-page book would be something that I work on through, like, K through 6th. I can't even imagine. And it's all Big Mike's blow-hearted nonsense where he just rambles and rambles.
You don't even have to think about what he's saying. You could read it in a second, I'm sure.
So the audiobook isn't out because why release an audiobook when you could sell the paperback version and then resell everybody the audiobook in a month? So it's another scam. I mean, if it wasn't, then just release the audiobook along with it. Seems like the normal thing to do, but no. So now she's got to read it to me, which sounds even worse.
I want to perform it.
You could.
Do a whole
I'm really
stage
not
where
interested.
We dress up in Maverick
I don't
clothing.
like these stories about people's personal struggles. I find them stupid. Like, I really hate these depressing stories. Like, I'm not into that at all. I want funny, happy stories.